What is up, YouTube? It is your boy Sanchez 405 coming at you. It's all the Warpath, and it's Warpath Wednesday, y'all. I apologize ahead of time. I am under the weather, as you can hear. I'm going through puberty 2.0, closer to 30 than I am 12. But yeah, it's all good though. We got a lot to talk about here. Got Amir. He's going to do a lot of the talking, and I'll chime in on in the meanwhile. But we're going to talk a little bit about that heartbreaking Saints loss, the terrible game that was a victory against the Giants. Look forward to the Cowboys tomorrow night and whatever else we have time for. But Amir, I will yield the floor to you, my friend, while I try to regain a little bit more of my voice.
It is quite all right, Mr. Sanchez. Welcome, one and all, to Warpath Wednesday. We definitely appreciate you tuning in. Apologize again for the vacation we've taken in the last couple of weeks here.
Yes.
But even your boys need a little time off every so often. So,
that's right.
Without further ado, we'll go into the Saints game. I did watch the coach's film on it. Really, the only notes I had was the fact that they stopped targeting Doxson in the second half, which, it was working in the first half. And, yeah, I get adjustments and everything get made. But, if it ain't broke, why fix it? That's all I'm going to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
The final score, of course, was 34-31 in overtime. That was our first overtime game of the season. And it was just... We have not done well in overtime in the Kirk Cousins starting era. I believe we are 0-2-1.
I believe you. Yeah, I think you're right on that one. I can't think of. Wait, was that
the Atlanta loss in 15?
Yeah.
The tie against the Bengals, and then the loss against the Saints. So
yeah, because I was thinking about that Dallas game in 15. I didn't remember if that had went into overtime or not, but that was a last second type deal. But yeah, and we talk about that loss against the Saints. I mean, you had everything going for you. I look at that drive where it's the second week in a row. You need to get a first down, and you don't put the ball in the hands of your $24 million quarterback. I don't give a damn if it's 3rd and 1. You might as well have just thrown the ball because they still had a timeout in their pocket. I would have said maybe run a bootleg and give them an opportunity because they knew that you were going to P-Ryan. Everybody in the Superdome knew it. Just sneak it, do something. I thought that it was a product of, playing down, playing not to lose rather than to win, and that's what happened. I knew once that the Saints got this game to overtime, it was over with for the Skins. And I'll be damned every time it's over. It just seems like overtime is just extending the losing for the Burgundy and go. But you can't cry over spilled milk, though. That was a good team that the Redskins are playing against. And you and I, we've talked about this, the fact that going forward, I think if this team, whether they make it to the playoffs or not, if they finish 8-8 on the season, I think that's an accomplishment because of all the injuries that they've had and all the new people that they've had to bring in and the lack of depth at a lot of positions. And this team is still scratching the surface of a playoff berth. I think that's the big – yeah.
100%. And speaking of injuries, there is a shimmer of hope coming from the injury report.
John Allen.
A glimpse of light. That's right. Jonathan Allen is scheduled to come back against Arizona.
And that'll be after we go and visit you guys out there in California against the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles or the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego, however you want to put it.
The Chargers of Inglewood.
of Inglewood, yes, and they play football in a football stadium. So, and but the irony behind that is LA could hold 2 playoff games this year at least. So more to be determined on that a little bit later. But we move into
That would be very ironic. I mean,
yeah,
I guess it would have. Yeah. Well, they don't share the stadium. But
yeah.
yeah, that would be crazy.
Man, he probably still wouldn't sell it out, but never mind. So we go to Thursday night. The Redskins played well. I said they played okay. They didn't play as bad as that turf looked. I
Oh my
actually,
gosh.
the turf is horrible, bro. I actually tweeted Diane Cheeseborough of the USA Today. If you don't follow her, you should, because she replies to every tweet. Much credit to her. I like it. She's replied to every tweet that I've ever tweeted at her with, and that's a credit to her. For somebody who's not really that known in the on like the Redskins coverage, they cover they do pretty well there, and she writes some good articles up. And this game, I thought the Redskins, it was the Giants. It was too close. Um, I thought they played very sloppy in the first half, but they got it together. Kirk Cousins finally got it together, meeting up with Jamison Crowder. And I think the defense played very well, holding them to 3 points. You can't ask for much more out of that defense with the injuries that they've succumbed with club arm ionitis and everything. They looked really good, man. I was excited for that victory against the Giants.
I agree. I was as well. I was able to catch some of it on my phone, and then I was able to finish watching it when I got home. So it was definitely glad I got to watch a victory for once, and and just looking at it and everything, and we'll transition to this in a second, but it was yeah, it wasn't the prettiest of wins, but I'll take the victory any day.
That's right.
And that interception that Kirk threw, that was the turf monster at its best.
Yes.
Homie's foot got stuck. There's nothing you can do about that, and so you can plant properly, and
Right.
that's why the ball was a little bit off and it bounced off of Byron Marshall's into the waiting arms of Norris Jenkins, acting like Sarah McLachlan in the arms of an angel.
Yes.
And final score of that game was 20-10. We were able to take the lead, breaking the tie with a really nice dime throw to Josh Doxson in the end zone. And then we were able to kick a field goal to go up by 10 with a couple minutes left. And our I'm going to start calling him the closer, Kendall Fuller.
Yes, yeah, I would agree. He is the closer of that team on defense.
Because he would, had he not have accidentally got his hands in the face mask of that Saints player, he picked off that pass in that Saints game. We would have gone away with a victory there.
Yes. He is the chief marshal of the flight marshals. I think he had a game-ending pick, or was it a pick against the 49ers? I think he did have this.
He had a pick against the 49ers. He had a pick against the Raiders. And he had, let's see here, would have had the pick against the Saints. Yeah, the pick against the Giants. He's had another pick.
Did he have one against Golf? I don't think he did.
No, it was
might have been Wentz.
It was Russell. First name Russell, last name Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson. Yeah, but yeah, he sure did. That's right. He was one of the 3 or 4 people that picked off Russell that day. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people say they look at this game. Yeah, it was the Giants. Nothing more, and progressing, not even really on a Redskin topic, it sets you up for a good a date with Dallas on tomorrow night. But to look at it, the Redskins have sent Eli Manning into retirement, and I think
at least retirement from the
that
Giants.
yeah, you never know. He could come play and be Kirk Cousins' successor in Washington next year. But the way that I can't see Ben McAdoo staying there after this season, there's got to be something wrong with the Tisch family and the Mara family if his ass is still there. At the end of this season, he has done it. But the Maras and the Tisch are getting exactly what they deserve. How they treated Tom Coughlin. That's what they do to greatness in New York, and they did it to Coughlin. Now they're doing it to Eli. I'm glad to see the Giants are finally imploding after years of being halfway decent and very successful at sometimes. But we'll see. I think he's the third best quarterback to come out of that 2004 draft, and
I go with second. I go with second best quarterback probably.
I think Phillip Rivers, man. I know he hasn't won championships, but I think on ability, I think Phillip Rivers is a little bit better, and that's just slightly better.
I was talking about Ben being number 3.
Oh my God, so disrespectful.
Well, you don't want to catch him marching in the bathroom, but anyways.
Oh, come on now. No, I mean, he's like the Matt Lauer of football. He wins. A lot of people like him, but, he's just got a bad history. That's all. And we talk more about that 2004 draft, and everybody knows, but usually around this time of year, the Redskins lost probably one of the greatest, and we don't say this lightly, but Sean Taylor was shot in his home on November 26, 10 years ago, and then passed away, succumbed to a gunshot wound to his femoral artery. And I don't know where you were at, but I remember I was at school. I was in high school, and one of my best friends came up to me and said, he's like, "Hey, Corey," he's like, "Sean Taylor's been shot in his house." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "You lied to me. I just thought he was joking." And I was like, "What?" And I sit there for, I was kind of like, I got into my class, I pulled up on my phone, had one of those razors, flipped it, and you know how internet loaded on the phone? It was just like, and it was, yeah, and it came up, Redskins safety Sean Taylor in critical condition, was shot in his home early in the morning. I was like, this isn't good. And then the news came out. You're just like, okay, he's not going to play football, but maybe he can make it through. And, you find out that you learn on the Football Life that came out a few years ago that the doctor said he was dead before he even got there. And, just to see that type of presence on the field, somebody that I would consider better than the safeties that we've seen today, better than Ed Reed, better than Cam Chancellor. he was legitimately, he probably would have been the best safety going out, probably still playing today at the age of 34. But it was it was sad. That is the last jersey that I've ever received. I don't wear Redskin jerseys a lot because I think players are so interchangeable. But that's the last jersey that I have of an individual player for the Redskins. And it was just to sit there and hear the stuff that people like Wilbon, Colin Cowherd said about this young man. And, I mean, a lot of us, I'm going to be honest, I give them a hard time for saying what they said. But if you, honest to God, if you were a Redskins fan during that time, you have to look at yourself in the mirror. Because I felt the same way. I was like, well, I said, I hate that it happened. But the media has a way of turning people into demons. And that's what they did. They always focused on the bad. So we always think of the bad. And, like, man, why is he getting himself in trouble again? We found out it was people who he had paid to come to the party and everything to work
Mm-hmm.
his a party for his daughter. I mean, not for his daughter, but for his sister. And I mean, never be another one like him. But man, it that is probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to see as a Redskins fan. Um, I don't wish that on anybody. Um,
Absolutely
just
not.
yeah,
And not just as a Redskins fan, but just as a human being in
human
general. I
beings,
mean,
right?
the Sport Junkies for the anniversary of the death released their broadcast of the morning that they found out that he passed away, and they had just gone live on the air. Not 30 seconds into their broadcast, you hear Lurch Papa say, "Oh my God, Sean Taylor's dead,"
Mm,
and just took a somber tone for the next 4 hours of that radio program. And I, like you, I was at school as well. Was uh, I was in some kind of. That was my senior year. I was in a computer lab because I had to print out a paper because my printer at home wasn't working. And I remember asking an old teacher of mine, "Hey, can I use one of the computers to print real quick?" And he goes, "Yeah, sure." And I pull up my email real quick to download the document, and all on the this is when I was using AOL email. So on AOL homepage, you see, Washington Redskins safety in critical condition. And I was just like, what?
yeah,
We're not really supposed to use the computer at school for web browsing, but it wasn't technically school hours, so
right.
took a quick click, and it was just like, whoa, that's terrible. And went on and everything, and you know, then the next day hearing that he passed. And I was a Redskins fan back then. I wasn't as into it as I am now.
Right.
I was too busy being in my own little world to focus on football. And
Such a selfish young man Amir
but
was.
it was I was a very when I was a young warthog, and just and I told my dad and everything. My dad couldn't believe it, and it was just a terrible time and everything. And I didn't really grasp how good of a player he was until about 2000. Well, until that A Football Life special came out. It's sad to
Right.
say. I never thought of looking up Sean Taylor highlights. It just something that it just didn't occur to me to do. And then when that A Football Life came out, and I watched it, and I remember watching it, and I cried. And I was
Yeah.
just like, the world truly lost. He could have been the greatest safety of all time, and you know, and I wonder how he would have adjusted to playing the way the rules are now, because you can't play with the kind of physicality he played with anymore. Those hits that we remember, that hit to the punter in the Pro Bowl, they call it the
15
hit,
yards.
the hit heard around the world is what they call it. And oh man.
Yeah.
And then hearing all these people's just memories of the event that happened, whether it was Clinton Portis or Daniel Snyder or Santana Moss or even Chris Cooley. For those who don't know, three Redskins were named to the Pro Bowl that year. Chris
Yeah.
Cooley was one of them. Do you remember the other two?
Ethan Albright and Chris Samuels.
All three of them wore number 21 in the Pro
What?
Bowl.
Yeah, that's right.
And I
Yeah.
think Cooley scored a touchdown in that game, didn't he?
I don't believe he did. Um, I don't think he did, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
I think that was the 2008 Pro Bowl. And just, I mean, that season was a season of like ups and downs to begin with. The Redskins had started out really hot in 2007. And then right around the time he got hurt against Philadelphia at FedEx Field, um, they kind of sputtered. And I'll never forget remembering they went to Tampa and they just like Jason Campbell turned the ball over like 4 or 5 times, and I'm like, well, at least we get Taylor back against Buffalo. And I read it, ironically enough, um, Sean Taylor had played a game against every team in the NFL at the point, besides one. It was the Buffalo Bills,
Hmm.
and a lot of people didn't know.
We already had
A
the
lot of people
Patriots at
didn't
that
know
point.
that. Yeah. That's the 52-7 he played in that game. I'm pretty sure if you go back and look at it, I think he appeared in a game against every NFL team. There was a lot of games. There was a game in 04 where he legitimately won the game for him and against Chicago and just picked the ball off.
Mm-hmm.
There's another highlight in 06 where they played the Panthers. Ironically enough, that's the last time the Redskins beat the Carolina Panthers. Was in 2006. Check your record books. St. John's knows. And he catches it like a center fielder. They don't make plays like that in baseball. But this young man had the ability to come down, field the ball, and then turn around, take it out the end zone 20-some yards, and win the game for the team. And my favorite picture of Sean Taylor is him going up against Reggie Brown against the Eagles on Monday night, and it's a still frame of it. And I had this on my computer for the longest time growing up, and it was just him laying them out. It's Taylor Brown, balls over here, obliterates him. Um, so I mean, you never know, what you have until it's gone. And I mean, I think a lot of people could take solace in that, knowing that we've got to be grateful, especially players. We got to be grateful for who we have now. And just, they might be shitheads, whatever. But at the end of the day, I think most of them are genuinely good people. And yes, Chris Cooley did catch a touchdown. He caught a 17-yard pass from Matt Hasselbeck in the second quarter of that game. Yes, he did.
Because I remember watching that Pro Bowl, and I remember him catching that touchdown and just tugging at his jersey and just pointing to the sky.
Yeah.
And and I had brought this up, and I wish they would do this every year around this time. I think it would help with the fans, and not to like turn a profit or anything like that, but it's my personal opinion, it's a marketing genius thing. I brought this up to BFG when I interviewed him a few months back, and that around this time they should have it, it's the week of they should have as the annual Sean Taylor Memorial Game.
And were they all black? I think you were talking about that.
Wear all black. Wear all black with the burgundy helmet, but instead of the traditional Redskins logo of the Native American in there, take the Native American face and just put the number 21.
Yeah, that would be something that would be awesome. God knows how the NFL would react to that, though. with uniforms and everything. And but I like that. I do. I like that a lot. Um, Made that man to play football. Yeah, he was made to play football. Uh, like Gus is saying,
I mean, we
yeah.
still had somebody last year who had played with him on the roster. That was Kendrick Wilson.
Gilson, yeah, that's right. He sure did play with him. And, you find
Last carryover from that team.
right,
Santana Moss
yeah,
retired after the 14th season.
you're right, and that was it. Wow, yeah, that's right. And I don't even know. I think Lorenzo Alexander might have been one of the last players that is currently in the NFL that played with Sean Taylor. I don't know if anybody else that. No, I can't really think of anybody. I have to
I
go
can't think
back and
of
look at
anybody
that.
else either.
Those, yeah,
Antoine Randall L retired already, right?
right. Randall's gone. Um, a lot of
Brandon Lloyd's
Lloyd,
gone.
yeah. Um,
Yeah,
I,
I think you're right.
we'd have to check that, but I think Lowe is the last one of that team that played with him. So I know they had a good spotlight on Greg Williams too um, during that, but he will be missed. He was a football. I think he was the last breed of football players on there. Uh, he would have been. I just then the Redskins. It's kind of funny. The Redskins have never. I think until maybe recently, they have not. They never had credible safeties, and I think Swearinger's added that to him, and he plays. He tries to play like Sean Taylor, and I mean, he's a little flashy, but I like Swearinger. But
I like Swearinger
yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. But
And I
rest,
appreciate that he's wearing his rookie number.
I do too. And rest in peace, 21. And thank you for all the memories. And I know it's kind of a hard turn to go, but now we're focusing. And you just mentioned something about uniforms. Thursday night is Color Rush in the National Football League. If you've seen the Redskins Color Rush, it's this all gold or yellow, whatever the hell these heathens want to call it. And they called the Redskins during the owners' meetings, and I think March called the uniforms quote unquote garish. And this is why I hate Bruce Allen. Bruce Allen worries too much more about a damn jersey in a uniform than actually winning on the football field. He's the crooked son of a gun who wanted to bring these awful gold pants back to the burgundy and gold. And now he's like, I don't want to see a burgundy jersey. So Chris Cooley reported today that they probably won't wear them. They will go with the Jim Zorn monochrome burgundy and burgundy on burgundy look. And I'm going to brag on myself. I reported this back in September, maybe.
I remember that. Yeah, you did.
I tweeted it. Y'all go in there, still on the tweet. I'm going to share it with Paul Lucas and all of them too, to make sure. Say my name. But they had wore an all burgundy get up. God, I'm trying to think of when I went up there. Yeah, it was September. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because it was right before the Kansas City game. They showed Trent Williams, who was the Color Rush model, in all burgundy. And I'm like, is this the new Color Rush that we didn't know anything about? So I've expected since then for them to wear this all burgundy against Dallas, because Dallas will wear all white, like their 1994 uniform. So I think that's what they're going to wear. The Redskins have never scored more than 12 points in all burgundy. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes there on tomorrow night. But we look at this and we go into this game. Dallas has shown that Dak Prescott is nothing without Ezekiel Elliott. This team is nothing without Zeke Elliott, without Tyron Smith, without Sean Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Lee's on the injury report. I'm not sure if he'll play. Um, I um, I don't really know what we're gonna see out of this team because I think that the Redskins struggled against the Giants. I think Dallas is a much better team than the Giants are, with or without Zeke. This defense is gonna have to watch the tape on Atlanta, on Philly, on San Diego, Los Angeles, whatever the hell you want to call them, and see how they got how they made Dak human, pretty much. Um, I I
Ball
think this is
control.
a
They
winnable
stuck to
game.
all those teams stuck to the run.
So what have I been saying lately? Run the damn ball. That's what they need to do. Run the damn ball, and they'll win. And I, we'll see. We will see. And I you said ball control, so I think maybe we can see a third consecutive 100-yard game from Samaje P. Ryan.
Possibly.
Possible.
I was hoping we would pick up McFadden off of waivers personally, just so we could pick his brains on their offense.
Yeah,
That was the
I
only
think that's
reason
why they
why.
got. I wish the Redskins had went out and got Andre Ellington, to be honest with you, but I think Houston claimed him off of waivers. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but it's either here nor there. Um, but yeah, this would be a good game. I think Kirk Cousins, he he's finally won a game that's not on a Sunday. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that his first? Is that his first game that he's won on a day that's not Sunday?
This is correct.
Okay, so let's do it again. You had a week to work with it, and now you have 10 days to work. This is a winnable game for the Skins. No matter how you look at it, they can go out there, win this game. It can also be a losable game if you play down to. Because I'm not doing this bull. I'm not doing this bull crap anymore. Every time I say they win, they wind up losing. Every time I say they lose, they wind up winning. So I'm going to say they can win if they play ball control, like you said, and the defense keeps everything in front of them. It keeps accountability on Dak Prescott. They can lose if they because this is they're 2 5 and 6 teams, so they both have flaws. But they can lose if they lose track of Dak. They let this defense rattle you because some reason Rod Marinelli looks like a freaking genius every time he plays the Skins. So I'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I concur.
Yeah.
And just touching base real quick on the Redskins' path of the next 5 games. As we already stated, they have Dallas tomorrow, followed by the Inglewood Chargers, and then they go home to play the Cardinals, led by the most amazing quarterback of all time, Blaine Gabbert, and followed by the Broncos, led by the second most amazing quarterback of all time, Trevor Siemian. Yep, keep drinking that tea, Kermit.
It's none of my business.
Finally going to New York and finishing the season against
Against
the third greatest quarterback of all time, Geno Smith.
yes,
Possibly James Webb. We'll find out.
Yes, I concur.
But the path that lays ahead, it's in their own control to make it to the playoffs. I think they need to win all 5 to do it. I don't think 9 wins is enough.
No.
I think if they go 10-6 and they get some help out, whether that's keeping Seattle out or if this weird NFC South 3-race team thing going on right now gets a little leveled out and they get some help there, I think, we can make it to the playoffs. And depending on who we play in the first round, we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But even if obviously if we don't get if we lose if we end up at 500, obviously we're not going to get.
Right.
But where was I going with this? We'll be able to find out within the next couple of weeks if we're going to go to the playoffs or not.
Man, you couldn't find direction like Tennessee can't find a head coach there for a second, but
Yeah,
it
it was like my mind was Greg Schiano, and my thought process was like, nope.
yeah, just yeah, but no, I mean the Redskins are in control of their own destiny, like they were last year. Um, I would honestly say that if they should be able to win this. They should be able to win out. I think the toughest game would be the Chargers, but um, you know, they've got the Cardinals. That's never an easy out, especially in December. The Broncos, they've got a great defense, but the defense has started to play lacklusterish. And also, you've got the Giants, which doesn't really matter who's behind center. The Redskins might find a way to choke up at the end of the year. But I think 8-8 is a realistic possibility. 9-7 maybe is a possibility. But they've got to run the tables, kind of like they did a couple years ago in 15, kind of like they did in 2012, kind of like they did in 07 and in 05. The Redskins, to get to the playoffs, they have to be hot, and they have to carry the hot hand. But we will see. This team is, I will say, this, as far as injuries go, this team is the best Redskin squad that I've seen because they don't give up just because of the quality. They have their ineptitude moments. I'm not saying they're the greatest squad, but they are one of the best teams that maybe that's a credit to Jay Gruden. I don't know, but they have stayed together. The pace is still sticking. That's not Elmer's there. That's that Gorilla glue that they've got working right now. And we will take a look at our comments because we've got a few, y'all. Let's see here. Over here, let's see who we got. So apparently, Peter Parker thinks I sound like Doc Rivers. Thank you, I appreciate it.
A little bit, actually, yeah. I can see it.
Yeah, I can't coach the Clippers though. Nobody can. And then we got Gus. He's like, "Happy Thanksgiving. Hope y'all." Yeah, we had a good Thanksgiving. The Redskins won, man. That's right. It was complete. And then he talks about Sean Taylor. God made Sean Player to play football. And could you imagine him and Pat Fisher playing in the same secondary with Pat Fisher in his prime, of course. Do you know who Pat Fisher is?
No, I've never heard of Pat Fisher.
I do know who Pat Fisher was. And Pat Fisher, I believe he played with the Redskins in the 70s, but he was a hell of a safety. I think he played in the backfield with Lynn Haas in that Super Bowl. He's part of that Super Bowl tandem for the Redskins when they played oh God, who did they play? The Dolphins. A part of that undefeated season there. And he was a hell of a safety at his position. Mike Boss, Mike Bass. I'm sorry, not Lynn Haas. I don't know what I was thinking there. And then Boba. Wait, now this is one of the guys who used to be on here a lot. It's good to see you, man. He's getting over a cold himself, and he's like, "It's the Sean Taylor game tomorrow. Need to kick that Dallas ass." So yes, I agree with that as well. Gus comes back and says they need to shit can. I like this one. uh, Bruce Allen's dumbass and put Mr. Doug Williams in control of their front office. Here's an eye for football talent. I ain't the one who is sick of Bruce Allen. Yes, yes, I despise Bruce Allen. I'm actually working on a meme for Bruce Allen that I might be able to use here pretty soon. Then we got Roger Arthur. Gonna kick Dallas's ass. I like that. P. Ryan's gonna run, and Kirk is gonna kill it on play action, and for sure, you like that. Yes, I like that a lot, guys. So hopefully there's a victory. Amir, do you have any final thoughts for tomorrow night's game?
For tomorrow night's game, just in general, I do believe that if all goes according to plan, which seldom does, but if does, we'll pull out with a victory. I'm going to go ahead and go as high as using my Amir Stradamus powers here and say the Burgundy and Gold will be victorious upon a score of 28-17.
I like that. I don't get scores. So I think they can win if they do the right things. And if they do the wrong things, they'll lose.
This is true.
Yes. We're well, I'll keep it simple and I'll leave it at that. That's the most half-assed answer I can give you without yeah. But yes, on to victory. On to not having defeat. Hail to the Redskins, y'all. I am not do you hear me? I can't watch this game live. I can barely come on here today and do it. I am going to watch it live from the comfort of my home, but I can't get on here and do the live stream because my voice will be toast even more. So I'm going to try to give it a rest for tonight as I've ran my mouth off too much tonight. But we love you guys so very much. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays coming up here. I'll have to bring the Warpath Christmas tree up. The fiance actually let me pick out the ornaments and decorate the tree how I wanted it. So I appreciate that. That's real love. So yeah, that's real love right there, boys and girls. I love you guys. As always, love, peace, and hail. And we'll be talking to you real soon. We are out.